Hi folks, Matt here at Rent Camper. This is the interior demonstration of our little 4-berth Kilig 18 motorhome. Let's go and get inside. So to the rear we have a fixed double bed. Ladder goes in them brackets there just to clamber up into that. Storage at the top. Storage cupboard there. And your TV, DVD player is up here. This on a bracket so it swings out. It's a 12 volt TV, so will work if you're not on a campsite. It's also free view connected to a aerial on the roof. One thing we can't guarantee is signal, all depends where you are. So take some DVDs with you. It does have HDMI ports, USB ports if you want to plug anything into it. Under the bed we've got the heating control there. This will be demonstrated on a separate video. And then in this cupboard here, class little wardrobe. There is a rail in there so you can use that as a wardrobe. Plenty of storage in this for a small motorhome. Next to this we have the fridge and freezer. Big one in this. And to the top of the fridge is a large freezer. The bottom of the fridge is classed as a bottle storage. Nowadays these are automatic, so basically they do their own thing. This is currently on. It's on auto, so automatic setting, and I'm plugged into 240 volt. So if you unplug that 240 volt, it'll go on to gas, which is that one, and while ever you're driving, the fridge will go on to the battery setting. If you need to alter this at all, just keep your finger on that button there. It starts to flash, and you can manually select what you want it on. It'll be on auto when you fetch it. And then you've got your temperature gauge. Now then, one thing about motorhome fridges is when you collect the van, it'll be either on 2 or 3 on the bars. It just depends on the winter or summer. What you tend to find is on motorhome fridges, if you turn them up to 4 or 5, trying to make the fridge colder, it doesn't really work that way in a motorhome fridge. Normally if you turn them up right to the top, the fridge will get warmer rather than colder. So winter months 2 bar should be more than enough. Summer months 3 bar should be more than enough. Kitchen area. So we've got a 3-burner hob, oven and grill. These are just gas, so all you do is press the button in, turn, keep it pressed in, and press the ignite button. You've got a sink, hot and cold water, 240 volt plug socket, storage up there. There is pots and pans in there at the moment, light switch, more storage down here, and then the bottom one is a cutlery drawer. The control panel is here. This is the main one for the van. Again, this will be demonstrated on a separate video for you. While I'm in this area, I'll demonstrate the blinds and how the windows work. So the blinds have a fly screen that comes down, and then if you pull it on a look, that closes it off for night time. And just open it like that, so it's open. If you want to open the window, open these clips, push it open. You'll hear it click, and it'll stop in certain positions as you push it open. And then when you want to shut this window, you can't just pull it down, you have to push it right open, like that, and it'll come down itself. Lock these off, and your window's shut. So just remember, you can't just pull the window down, you have to open it right up, and then you can shut it. Just a reminder about these: while ever you're driving, make sure all the rear windows are shut and locked into position, like that. Along with the skylight, make sure the skylight is shut. Simple reason is, if you lose one of these windows, which is easy to do if you've not locked them off, these cost around £500 to replace, so just be very cautious and make sure these are shut before you drive anywhere. Toilet area and shower. So you've got your sink and your toilet, plenty of storage in this as well. Plenty of storage. When you collect the motorhome, there'll be a box of washing tablets. These are from Lidl or Aldi, or you can buy them from any other superstore. We use these to keep the toilet fresh, so you can normally use like a blue chemical, but it smells horrible and stains everywhere, so these do the same job. When you collect the motorhome, there'll be a couple of these already in the cassette. I'll be demonstrating on the exterior video. And when you empty the toilet via the cassette and push it back in, you can put 2 or 3 of these capsules in the top of the toilet, open the little flap up and they'll drop into the cassette. They'll keep the toilet as fresh as possible. Summer months when it's warm, empty your toilet as much as you can. If you leave them and it's hot, they can smell, so just remember that. It's got a shower. The shower is just around the corner. Self-explanatory how to use the shower. Just remember, it'll be it's explained on the other video, that if you are using the shower, you only have a limited supply of water, hot water, so which is 13 litres. So if you're in the shower, you can't sit there forever and a day. It's jump in, jump out, turn shower off between washing. Literally rinse yourself off and come out before it goes cold. And then if somebody else wants to use the shower after, you have to wait for the boiler to warm back up again. It's a big kettle, it's not a combi boiler, it's a big kettle, so you have to wait for that. The toilet, blue button there is the flush, so that's supplied from the main water tank. There's nothing separate to fill up, so you use the toilet, can flush it. The black top of the toilet, the top of the cassette, that's operated by a lever there, so if you push that lever towards the front, that opens the cassette up, so your waste drops into it. Can't tell you how long this will last for, it all depends how much you use it. When you open the flap, you can see how full it is, so getting ready for emptying. Just a reminder, only ever empty this at a campsite at the Elsing point. Don't empty it anywhere else, public toilets or anywhere else like that. And please ensure this is empty and swilled out before you return the motorhome. Front seating area. So the 2 front seats swivel round. There's a lever under the seat which is there, and then they both swivel round like this. You will have to move the seats forward and backwards to get them into this position, just to get around the steering wheel and what have you. You've got your 2 extra seat belts here, so it is 4 berth with 4 seat belts. The cushion there at the back, that's just on a board that can be moved if you're wanting to use the seat belts. The table, this is how it sits when you collect it. It's folded in half at the moment. Well, this does open up, so this is a bracket. So if you want to open the table, pull the bracket out, it literally just pushes in and pulls out, and then your table will open up like that. So you've got a big double table. Now this also moves left, right, upside down, everything. So you've got a lever here, this will move it. And you've also got 3 brackets underneath the table, so if you want to lock it into position, you see these brackets here, these just push up like so. There's one there, there's one there, and there's one on the other side, and these lock the table into the position where you are. Now while ever you're travelling, you can obviously fold the table up back in half, push the bracket in, set the table where you want it for while you're travelling, and then please ensure these 3 brackets are locked off like that, and that'll ensure the table doesn't move around while you're driving. They say it does spin round and all sorts, but I'm sure you'll work that out. Plenty of storage up the top here, loads of storage up there. You'll find light switches all under the cupboards. There is USB ports there as well. So there's lights in the ceiling. There, a little switch to the left hand side there. And there is a 12-volt point behind the telly, where the telly's plugged into. This one has an electric bed. Now they do class this as a double bed. I wouldn't say it's a double, it's ideal for 2 kids or 1 adult. We do advertise this van as a small 4-berth, so 2 adults, 2 small kids, or if you're 3 adults, you're perfectly fine for 3 adults. But personally, I would like to try and get 4 adults in it. It's not much room on there for sleeping, but this is how they're designed. It has got the 4 seat belts, but I say this isn't a massive double bed at all. 2 switches there, they operate the lights under the bed. So we turn them off, the lights off. Turn them back on, the lights come on. And then a little button down here, all you do is press that and the bed comes down. So I say it's a half decent size, but I wouldn't class it as a big double bed at all. Ideal for 2 kids. So you've got a ladder up there that goes onto the brackets there. Under here, you see them nets, they can pull out and clip up there, so if you have got kids up there, one at the front, one at the back, it just stops them from trying to get out. And you'll see at the moment I've got this. That's a Velcro in the middle. So when you're using the bed, you can just unvelcro these and put them at the side. But when you want to put the bed back up into the air, make sure that it's like this, because what it does is pulls these 2 side bits in away from the mechanism. You don't want to trap that in there. There is enough room to leave a quilt on here and a pillow or 2, but don't store anything else up here at all, because as I say, there isn't a lot of room when it's up in the air. And to put it back up again, all you do is press this button. Up it goes and it's out of the way. As I say, if you do put a quilt up there and a couple of pillows, if you press that button and you're getting towards the top, and you can hear the motor start to slow down or labour, just stop pressing the button. If you carry on and try and force it to the top, it will blow a fuse somewhere, so just be cautious of that. The van itself, it's 6-speed manual, 2 litre cruise control, aircon, Bluetooth stereo. The handbrake is on the right hand side of the driver's seat. When you come and collect the motorhome, just remind me and I'll show you how to use the handbrake. It's just very slightly different to what you're normally used to, but I'll show you how that works. We've got a reversing camera up there. 2 40-volt plug sockets. There is one down there. There's another one here. The 2 40-volt plug sockets will only work if you're plugged into an electrical cup on a campsite. So if you're driving, not plugged in or anything like that, the 2 40-volt sockets won't work. The 12 volts and the USB ports will work. Other than that, I think that's about it. Curtain to the front, that just covers off the front screen night time. One thing I will say about these Ford Transits, if you're using this in the winter time and you're using the heater, you can create quite a lot of condensation on the front screen, on the interior of the front screen. Now this can be a problem on the Ford Transits. We've had it known that the condensation can go behind the back of the dash into some of the electrics and create havoc with the exterior lights. So in the winter time, if you're using the heating at all, the best thing to do is use the curtains and leave the front windows down if you can, by about a centimetre or an inch either side, or a roof skylight, and that creates a bit of airflow around the front of the van and it stops the condensation for a start, you don't want to be cleaning a load of condensation out the front of the van in the morning, and we don't want any issues with exterior lights flashing. So you say if we can cut down that condensation, the front needs airflow. So please remember, if you're using the heating, which is the main creator of the condensation, try and put the front windows down, say half an inch either side, or a roof skylight open a fraction, and that'll just give the van a bit of airflow. It also helps with the heating, being a blown air gas heating system. If you leave that on all night, it tends to dry it out. It's lovely and warm in these vans. They get warm ever so quick. The heating's brilliant, but if you do leave it on all night, it'll get red hot, or you'll be dry yourself out to be wanting to drink all night. So normally better wrap yourself up and turn the heating off if it's winter. And that's about it. We hope you enjoy the hire with us. If you've got any issues while you're out on hire, you've got these videos, you've got my phone number, you can contact me, and I can run you through things. Just remember, check a few things off before you drive. Windows are shut, skylights are shut, unplug your electrical cup lead, and you're ready to go.